Hello and welcome to my first tutorial in AutoCAD, and this is my first video, and I would like us to first of all look at some very first things when you set to draw in AutoCAD, the things that you always think about. For example, how are you going to plot if you manage to make the drawing. Second thing is, and many question people ask is how do you set the units? And the third thing is if you are going to print the drawing, how are you going to manage the scale and all that, and different scales on one page. AutoCAD has very good features for that. And before we go very far, let's see how fast you can be able to set the units in the AutoCAD. So the first thing is you go to the command and you write type units. Okay, type units like that, and this is the window that's going to pop up. For example, you have the precision. You can also set precision. If you're working in millimeters, you can set to 0, then you set your units to be in millimeters. If you're working in meters, you can set to meters, 0.000, so the decimal places. Then you put it into, you would set the scale to meters. So in our case, let us set in millimeters and precision to be 0. So like that. And okay, so now our drawing will be the drawing is now set in units, millimeters. The other thing is this is a typical of any page you might want to print your drawing on. And the first thing is you should be familiar with the paper sizes. For example, you can print in A4, you can print in A3, you can print in A2, you can also print in A1 and A0 in that order, or depending with the size of the drawing you are printing and the scale you want to use. So if we look at what we are having now here, we are in the model space. In the model space, that is where you brought everything, that's where you design your work. And after designing, you're most likely going to use the layout. This is the layout tab, and in the layout tab, this is where the paper sizes are, where you can set them. And maybe the best way to do that is, for example, is a shortcut. You can just come to the layout, right click, and here you see the page setup manager, and let's set this page to A3. Okay, so you can put this, you can go to the modify. If you go to the modify, you can use any type of a printer you want. For example, you can have Adobe. There is also you can also have the kind of a printer you are using, or the plotter. It will be listed here. Or you can even have from drawing to PDF, and that is where you have, for every printer or the plotter type, you have the paper sizes. So for example, I can have A4, let's use A3. So you can use the A3. The ISO full print means that the paper does not have margin, and For example, if we go to the ISO full print A3 like that, you can see it does not have margins. So I'm most likely going to use this one, and we just go and set to maybe the plot style. We can put to none and click OK. Close. Now you see the paper has changed in size. This is called a viewport. For now, let's delete it and let's go back to the model. Okay, but if we would like to see the size of this paper size, if we want to assume this is the page that you're going to print your work in, so maybe we can just dimension and see how much it is, and it is 420, and the other side is 297. Okay, so what you can do so that it makes your work easier, we can copy this. Okay, and if we copy, maybe you can copy them this point like this here, and go to the layout and we paste it here. Okay, like that. So we want to make sure that this paper is completely in place. It is perfectly in place. So to do that, we go back to the layout, page setup, then go to modify. If you go to modify, you can see here the plot area where you want to plot from. For example, you can plot from the layout. You can also plot from the window. The window means it is in the model space. So let's go to the layout. So if we say it's the layout, okay, let's use the window. If you go to the window, then you see the command, it's telling you to specify the first corner. So I'm going to snap here and snap here the other corner, and we click OK, then close. So you can see our drawing is totally in the correct edges, so you don't have to keep on eyeballing and getting the correct placement of this paper size. That is one way you can print your drawings. You can make like a page for where you'll be printing your drawings. And for example, let's assume we have a drawing here. Let's say maybe plot something. For example, we can plot like a rectangle here like this. Okay, we can make it interesting. Maybe we can click here, then go to offset, and maybe because we are not sure about the sizes we have created, maybe we can use one of the interesting way you can do the offset. That is, you can use through. So if you do through, then you are the one who will dictate what thickness you want. So you can see you can do like 5, you can do 6, do 10. So let's do 10. So we just type 10, then enter, like that. We can also do like a line, a polyline. Then you can see there are some settings in your computer, for example, you don't have. So why I'm getting these guides is because I have activated my snap, the snap, these things. It's called a snap. Let's see here. This is where you launch them, and it's called object snap. Okay, so if you click this, you can see you have a bunch of how you can control the way you click, then drawing the line, the polyline, and all that. For example, you have the end point, you have the midpoint, you have the center, and all that. That is where they are. So if it is selected, it will look bluish or this color. So let's use the polyline and create, for example, a line here. Okay, like that. Maybe we can offset this one again, maybe by 10. Okay, and maybe let's use another line, maybe here, be 200. Like that. And also do the offset like that. So you notice if you input one, for example, an offset figure of say 10, the next time you try to you do an offset, it will remember that figure. So that is why if I just press enter, it will just offset you 10. So let's also try something here. We can select all these like that and trim. Okay, so if we trim, we can trim like this. We can also trim like this. We can also trim like this, and you can also trim and here. Okay, enter. So maybe we can select again and trim again like that. So those are some good tips on how you can design something. And maybe we can if we grip this end here like this, it will stretch this polyline, and maybe we can select all these like this, then we can trim, and you can trim here. Okay, then maybe we can offset again here, maybe offset like like let's say 50, although 50 is very small. Let's try 100. Okay, like that. So if we select again, we can have like a small open here, and we can do the same here. We select, we can have a line, polyline, then we offset again here like that, then we trim like that. Okay, I think you have an idea of what I'm trying to do. This is what you might find yourself doing, for example, to sketch something like a small house. Maybe try 100 again like that, then you select everything, then you trim like that. Okay, so let's use an arc, and there are so many ways you can make arcs, and maybe we can use the first one here. It says start, center, and like that. Okay, you can do the same again. Start, center. Ooh. But what if I press the control? If I press the control, I'm not pressing the control. So if I click, this is how my door looks like. I can also have another one here, like that, then control. Maybe we can add a polyline, enter, we do the same. So to repeat the same command, we can press the space bar like that. So maybe we can do like this, enter, like that. Maybe you do a small house. Okay, so how do we put this drawing into the layout? And if you can remember, this page, this drawing is bigger than the page, than the sheet that we are going to print in. So that is where the scale comes in. So we go to the layout, and we can see there is a highlighted thumb here. This is called the layout. So what the layout does is it scales off the drawings that you're going to make, so that they fit, but with a scale. Okay, so if we go to the, for example, let's use the rectangular. This is called a viewport. Okay, so we can use a viewport. Let's use a rectangular one. Okay, and we can specify the corner like this, like that. Okay, and you can see it will automatically maybe get to the drawing that we are done. If you can't find it, then you can just click inside, and now you are viewing the model space from the layout. Okay, so if you zoom out, it will go very far. If you zoom in, just like rolling the wheel of your mouse. So let's say, supposing we are contented with that, and then we just click outside and double click like that. So what you can see now is we now have a way we can be able to fit this drawing into a page. So So we have a scale here now. Okay, so maybe we can try to find a scale that we can use for that matter, or maybe just have a scale that we can talk about. For example, if you do like this is not okay, this is not okay, this is not okay. But maybe if we, let's try 1.4, but 1.4 looks small. What about 1.1? No, 1.2, 1.4. So maybe we can create 1.3. So we go back to the model and then you click here, then you can do a custom. Okay, from there you can go back here and maybe you can add a scale. Okay, let's say 1, 2, 3. Okay, like that. Okay, click OK, then you go back here. So we can now try and find that scale here. Yeah, here it is, like that. You see it becomes even a bit bigger. So maybe that is a scale of 1:3. Okay, but then it will depend with the drawing that you are making. For example, you find if the drawing is a bit bigger, for example, let's see how much is this. This is this is very small. This is a very small house, so maybe that is why you're getting a scale which is a bit awkward. So what can we do? But before we do that, let's see. For example, let's say we just make this house to be like 20 meters. Okay, so if we make 20 meters, we can select the whole of this house. Okay, and do a scale of maybe make this length be 20 meters. So you just click here, then come here, then you use a reference. Okay, if you use a reference, maybe like that. Like that. So you make it be 20,000. That is 20 meters. Okay. Now it becomes a big house. Okay. Now if we come here, we can now try to get a better scale. For example, we can use a scale of 20. No, 20 is still very small. A scale of 100. You remember we put a scale of 100, so maybe we can try a scale of 50. 50, let's see. like that. Maybe you can push it to the inside like that, but you find it's a bit bigger, so it means that maybe you go to a bigger scale, like 1:75. So let's come here, we create another scale, maybe of 75, and 1:75. So here you write 75. Okay, like that. Okay, so if we come here, we can click this one and find that scale, and I think it is here. Okay, wow. Okay, so this is one of the ways you can create now you can create a drawing and fit it into paper size. The paper size, any paper size you want. Perhaps maybe this you might want to make it a little bigger, but you get the idea. So it is not advisable to print the viewport, so sometimes it is better just put it into a scale, that into a layer that it will not show when you're printing. And to do that, you can create a scale, you can create a layer that will not print by coming to the layers and you create one here. Okay, you can call it viewport. Okay, and to make sure that it will not print, we have, if we indent this one, we can see if it is prot. If you don't want it to prot, just click, and then there is this sign that tells you no way. Okay, so we now put this viewport in that layer. Then you come here, model space, then you switch off the, if you can freeze it. If you freeze it, it will not show. Let's see, yeah, like that. Okay, that is one way you can make a drawing and fit it into the sheet. The other way is